Good morning, grade 4. Today in our lesson, we will be doing an introduction to an Arctic journal, 4 months at the bottom of the world, written by Jennifer Owens Dewey. Okay, so this story that was written by Jennifer Dewey, okay, is a journal. A journal basically is a type of genre that records important events and dates are written down. Okay, so what Jennifer Dewey did in an Arctic journal, she basically traveled to Antarctica for 4 months and she recorded the important events in a diary or in a piece of writing. And that is basically what happened with this particular story and Arctic journal, 4 months at the bottom of the world. Okay. I just want to show you guys the question of the week. If one understands the question, it will basically assist in understanding what's happening in the story itself. Like how one understood what type of genre it is, a journal, it also helped in understanding what really happened or what is happening in the story. So the question of the week states, what does a person sacrifice to explore the unknown? Okay, so if a person thinks of this particular question, what does a person sacrifice to explore the unknown? One can understand that if you look at this cover of the book, you can see that there's a lot of ice, icebergs, here's glaciers, here's freezing water, and this is probably a bee keeping this book. Okay, so if a person is not used to freezing and blistering conditions, and if a person is not seeing every day a bee walking around where the person is living, then obviously it is something that is unknown to that person. If a person lives in Riyadh, you're never going to see icebergs, you might see deserts. If a person lives in Riyadh, a person would not see a polar bear walking around, maybe a camel. So it is something unknown to a person coming from Riyadh if that particular person goes to Antarctica, like Jennifer Dewey did. Okay, so what did Jennifer and what does a person sacrifice to explore, to understand the unknown? One needs to understand that you need to sacrifice your fears. Because if you're going to be fearful, then you won't be able to explore conditions that you are not used to. Okay, that is very important. You need to sacrifice things like fear. You need to be courageous. You need to be brave. And you need to be excited to, to combat fears. Okay, so that is basically an introduction to the story and Arctic journal in journal 4 months at the bottom of the world, written by Jennifer Dewey. So just to summarize, we discussed the name of the story and Arctic journal, and also we mentioned the author Jennifer Owens Dewey, and also we explained what type of genre this is, which is a journal. The writer wrote important events dated in a booklet, and that is how this story came about. It was a journey that Jennifer Dewey undertook to Antarctica to experience and explore things that were unknown to her, like the icebergs, glaciers, polar bears, and amongst other things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to touch on the important vocabulary of the story, the high frequency words that basically comes throughout the story. The first word that is prevalent in the story is depart. Okay, so depart basically means to go away or to leave. If one looks at this aeroplane over here, When the aeroplane leaves a certain country, he departs from a certain country. And when he comes back or reaches the following country, he arrives at a certain country. So when he leaves, when you depart Riyadh Airport, for example, okay, it means you are departing from Riyadh Airport. And if you're going to Los Angeles and you reach your destination, you are arriving at your destination. The next word that I want to show is anticipation. Anticipation is also a high frequency word in the story. Anticipation means to be expecting something or predicting something. If one looks at this little girl's face, she has excitement in her eyes and her face. Okay. And so this is showing us that she's looking at something on top that's making her very excited, and she can't wait to reach that particular thing she's looking at. And this face of this little girl has anticipation on it, all over it. Okay. The next word that I want to show is forbidding. Forbidding means causing fear or dislike. If we look at this sign over here, it says no phones, which means you are forbidden, you are prevented to use phones at this particular signature or signage. The next word is continent. Continent is any of the world's main continuous expanses of land. Okay, so basically there are 7 continents in the world. The first one is South America, North America, Africa, Europe, Asia, and Australia. And these are the 7 continents that one finds in our world that has a continuous expanse of land, meaning there are no oceans on the continents as such. And the following word is heaves. Heaves means to lift or to hold something heavy with great effort. If you look at this particular baseball player, he is heaving the ball from the bottom to the top. Okay, that means he's lifting the ball from the bottom to the top and hitting a home run. So another example that comes to mind is when a tractor lifts sand, he heaves the sand from the bottom to the top, basically. Okay. And the next word in the story that is very, very frequent is iceberg. An iceberg is a large floating mass of ice detached from a glacier or ice sheet and carried out to sea. This here is an iceberg, basically a floating mass of ice detached from a glacier or detached from a mountain. It's just a piece of ice, a piece of mass of ice that's in the middle of the ocean. Okay. And the next word is convergence. Convergence means coming together at one point. If you look at this side, the right side and the left side, if both sides converge, they will reach together at one point. And this is our lesson today. I hope everyone had a fruitful few minutes in understanding the introduction to an Arctic journal and also understanding the high frequency words that is prevalent in the story. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day.